Howdy folks, EJ here, and today I'm going to show you something rather interesting that I stumbled across by accident. I'm not sure how useful it is, but it's certainly interesting to think about and to take a look at. So right here I've got a villager named George, and as you can see he's quivering a little bit, which is kind of odd. And if I punch him, you can see that he's kind of like bouncing off of something that seems to be invisible. Now, how on earth is this happening? There's no entities that he's bumping up against, is there? Well, actually, there are, but they don't really exist. So as you can see, I'm in game mode 3, so I would be able to see any invisible entities. There's nothing invisible around here. There aren't any entities that I can see. And if I could go ahead and do a say at E, R equals 20, this will say every entity within 20 blocks of me. You can see that it's actually saying a whole lot more entities than you thought were there before. It actually didn't do that last time I tested. Last time it only said one George, which is strange, so apparently it's even a little bit inconsistent. But the whole thing I'm trying to show you here is that there are some entities here that really can't be accessed any other way. So if I go ahead and kill everyone with name equals George, it only killed that one named George. It didn't access these guys. So as you can see, this particular command decided that it only wanted to affect some of them. These other entities named George are still there, and they're still causing some entity collision, but not with my player. If I'm walking around, I'm not getting bumped around, only this villager is. So very inconsistent, very weird, and it's not really, the game doesn't quite know what to do. Now let me go ahead and show you how this happened. So now I've booted up this world in MC Edit, and as you can see, there are a bunch of entities here. All these red squares are actually villager entities. And the way I created all these was actually when I was writing an MC Edit filter, and a simple mistake caused all these villagers to be spawned with the exact same UUID. I gave them the exact same NBT tags of UUID most and UUID least, meaning that their UUIDs, or their unique universal identifiers, or whatever they're called, they're all exactly the same. And since Minecraft uses the unique identifier to figure out which entity is which, and it keeps them all separate because of that, it can't tell which one is the real one. So only one of them actually gets processed correctly, I guess, as you can see by that one George that we had running around. And in fact, now that we've killed that other one George with the same UUID, I wonder if one of these guys will be chosen as the single working UUID, or the single working George, and the rest of these guys will still be stuck here if we go ahead and boot up Minecraft again. Let's get back in that world, see what happens, do a little bit of live testing. It might be a bit of a long, rambly video. And yep, it looks like another one of these Georges. This George has now been chosen as the one true George. And apparently this is a leash. I'm not sure why that's happening either. Looks like this filter needs a bit of work. Anyway, I'm just trying to figure out how to do MC Edit filters. Let's go ahead and kill this George again, or kill at E, R equals 20. Oh, that killed a lot more Georges than I thought. So that probably killed all the Georges, and now we might not have any anymore. Strange stuff. I don't even understand here. Well, it looks like we might have a couple Georges. This guy's still bouncing off of invisible stuff. What happens if I try to kill more Georges? Oh, they can't be found. Maybe I'm not actually able to affect them after all. Let's check an MC Edit and see which one of them are still alive. Well, it looks like they're all still there, to be honest. This one George that ran away is now gone. What other Georges are gone? This George, the first one that I had, is gone. And it looks like one more George is gone over here, but the rest of the Georges are still here. Then we got this other villager and this other villager that were walking around. So yeah, strange stuff. If you use an MC Edit filter to accidentally spawn a bunch of creatures with the same UUID, they can behave strangely. I don't know how difficult it is for the game to process it, but it's definitely not very consistent. I don't know how stable it is either, so hopefully it won't cause you to crash if you mess around with this. But I'm sure there are some uses for this, like invisible barriers of, I don't know. But interesting thing I just thought I'd show off completely by accident. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.